And Sam Noakes himself, he's a contender. Some people are saying that he's a star and he's massively underrated. I don't think he's underrated. Who has he beaten to be rated highly? You know what I'm saying? I think he's rated where he's supposed to be, and I think he's relatively unproven. Same with Abdullah Mason, but Abdullah Mason has a guy that's been in championship fights on his resume, like a Jeremiah Nakatia, like even a Johan Vasquez, who's a big proven big puncher, you know. So I would say that I'm favoring Abdullah Mason, but I don't think he's a favorite. I think it's a 50-50 fight. You know, I have to see more of Sam Noakes. I think Sam Noakes could very much well go in there and knock Abdullah Mason out. Of course, yeah. He's a big puncher, you know, but I also could see Abdullah Mason being the sharp, refined fighter that he is as a young man. You know, I still think I could see him going in there and outboxing him as well. So I think it's a great fight if it actually comes to fruition. I will be rooting for Abdullah Mason, but I'll be rooting for him because Abdullah Mason, like I said, man, he brings that energy, man. And I'm sorry, but I don't think that Abdullah Mason, now, whether he's successful or not, that's a whole nother story. But Abdullah Mason, I cannot see him being a champion and not calling out the other champions. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's obligatory. But what I'm saying is that I do expect him to do that because that's what he's been doing so far. You know, he's not doing it disrespectfully. He's not doing it prematurely. He's just like, hey, man, I do eventually want the champions. I do want the belt. When I get it, I expect him to go to pursue greatness. And if that means going through Gervonta Tank Davis, that means going through Shakur Stevenson, that means going through Raymond Morataya. I'm not saying that he beats those guys, but what I'm saying is that I think that he will push for those fights, and I think that's dope. That's what we need. I'm very annoyed with the stagnation at 135. In fact, I'm annoyed with any division that has 4 champions. You know what I'm saying? And they don't seem to have any type of ambition, where the champions don't have any ambition to fight each other. I'm looking at 126-pound division 2. Yeah, that means I'm looking at Rafael Eldovino Espinosa. That means I'm looking at Stephen Coolboy Fulton. That means I'm looking at Angelo Leo. That means I'm looking at Nick the Wrecking Ball, who's fighting 2 guys consecutively back to back that are 122-pound fighters. I'm looking at him the most. Yeah, because you keep fighting guys that are lower division than you. One of those guys that you fought was 38 years old with 5 losses prior to. Yeah, I'm looking at Nick Ball. Why is this even approved by the WBA? I have no clue. He went from fighting Naya Inoue, who got knocked out. I mean, TJ Doheny, who got knocked out by Naya Inoue at super bantamweight, and he brought him up and fought him at featherweight for a defense. And now he's fighting another defense against Sam Goodman. He's undefeated Australian fighter, but he's a 122-pound fighter again. So yeah, I'm looking at 126-pound division.